Few things bring back the feeling of the 1980s quite like remembering the house you grew up in during that time. Some features were unmistakably 80s, while others were more understated. Yet all of them reflect a piece of our past, especially now, when so many of those details have completely disappeared from modern homes. Although garage door openers were invented during the Great Depression, it would take an economic downturn in the 1970s to usher in a new era of consumer spending during the 1980s. During this decade, homeowners across the country began to install automatic garage door openers. Luckily, during this time, wireless technology was now also available, so the doors could be opened using a remote from inside the car. Sewing machines used to be a standard feature of pretty much every home, and most of the time they could be found in the laundry room. A sewing station was necessary to mend holes, hem pants, and even sew your own clothing. Today, you'd be hard-pressed to find a sewing machine in any home. Cane wood and chrome-accented chairs were all the rage during the 1980s. The Brewer Chair Company produced many of these unique furniture pieces, with them being found most commonly around the dining room table. Today, seeing these types of chairs takes us right back to that decade. And you might also remember how the wood on the chairs would splinter or get holes in it, which made them less comfortable to sit in. Popcorn ceilings once dominated the ceiling texture business. In the 1980s, they were found to be a staple of most homes. Not only did they cover up plain flat ceilings, but they also made imperfections disappear. Some popcorn ceilings even had sparkling glitter mixed in to make an even bigger statement. Nowadays, removing these dated ceilings is a priority when you renovate your home. Televisions in the 1980s were built large and boxy. Much like the 1970s, they were used as furniture in the living room and often took up lots of space. These console televisions also often came with a remote control to make flipping through the growing number of cable channels easier. In the bedroom, TVs were becoming smaller and more portable, so they could be set on top of a dresser or even hooked up to a new video game console. Electric typewriters exploded during the 1980s. The emergence of expensive home computers made these cheaper word processing devices much more appealing. Electric typewriters were more forgiving than the manual typewriters, but their time was limited. By the end of the decade, personal computers began to make their way into homes everywhere. And the keyboard, along with computer software, quickly replaced those electric typewriters that were so popular. Even the walls in homes made a statement during the 1980s. With the emergence of the colorful 80s aesthetic, maybe a little inspired by the Rubik. S-Cube Craze wallpaper made it easy to add pops of color. The walls featured pretty much all the colors in the rainbow, and may have also included geometric patterns. Floral patterns were also hugely popular. And they went perfect with the floral comforters that covered many of the beds during this time. Recipe boxes are now considered family heirlooms. But during the 1980s, they were an active part of the kitchen. Before the internet digitized all recipes, special family recipes were stored safely together in a wooden or tin box located on the kitchen counter for easy access. The often stained and worn cards were proof that they had been used religiously throughout the years. During the 1980s, cooking and baking during the holidays always included flipping through the old recipe box to find that perfect dish. Long before cell phones, many families had to share just one phone, and that phone was often attached to the wall in the kitchen. This made private calls difficult. But if you were lucky enough to have a long cord, you could wind yourself into another room. It's not surprising that during the 1980s, kids wanted their own telephone in their bedroom. A popular Christmas gift for kids during this time was their very own novelty phone, which saw them take the shape of popular cartoon characters. How many of you remember recording your answering machine message over and over until you got it just right? Answering machines with cassette tapes were the only way to know if you missed a call while you were out. The blinking light with a display that showed you how many messages you had was the first thing you checked when you walked back through the door. Not every home had floor-to-ceiling mirrors, but you probably saw it enough in movies and on TV. Floor-to-ceiling mirrors were pretty common in homes because they added a feeling of space. But the 80s took it to a whole new level with mirrors on everything. It seems that just about every room had at least one large mirror hanging on the wall. 1980s parents invested a lot of money in a set of encyclopedias that filled their kids' brains with lots of knowledge. There were facts on just about every subject, and these books were perfect to help with schoolwork. The only problem was they were outdated nearly as soon as they were printed. Nevertheless, many homes had a special shelf to display these prestigious books. With the expensive cost of buying a new set, many households had outdated books. They were still a classic 1980s fixture. Popcorn and movie nights have always gone together, but back in the 1980s, it was an essential combo. As video rental stores popped up on every corner, families leaned into the trend of using electric air poppers. Sure, microwaves were around, but microwave popcorn often came out burnt or uneven. That's why air poppers became the go-to choice, churning out big, fluffy bowls of popcorn, perfect for a night in. Whether you were tuning into a commercial-filled TV broadcast or diving into a stack of VHS rentals, air-popped popcorn was a must-have in just about every 80s household. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, check out the playlist for more nostalgic content. And as always, we appreciate you being here.